If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Jasmine Jasudavicius back on the show. She returns to action this Saturday as her North American professional fighting tour heads to Bensalem, Pennsylvania. She takes on Gabriella Gulfin at CFFC 81, which will be streaming on UFC Fight Pass. Jasmine, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So it is fight week, and I'm sure there's probably 1,000 other things you'd rather be doing than talking to me, so I appreciate this very much.
Oh, no. I enjoy talking to you. It's nice. We've, done it a couple of times, so it's nice to catch up for sure.
Yeah, we've been all over North America talking about these fights. So in terms of this one, the hard part is pretty much over. It's probably more fine-tuning time in terms of the rest of the camp heading into Saturday night. How has the camp gone in preparation for your CFFC debut?
The camp has been going very well. I was in Vegas for a while. I just got back a couple days ago, and so it was awesome. I was training with Roxanne and JoJo when I was down there, so I couldn't ask for better training partners in preparation. And I can't wait. It's just the last little bit, cutting that weight, and it's on. I can't wait.
What did you think of Roxanne's fight with Maycee Barber? That was an outstanding performance. She was the biggest dog on the card, and she came through in a big way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she looked awesome. I mean, we were all watching and just screaming at the TV, oh my God. It was amazing.
Were you in Vegas during that fight?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, we watched it with the team, and so it was a great experience.
I'm sure that gave you a nice little boost as well, a little bit of some motivation there.
Oh yeah, it made me hungry to fight. I can't wait.
Well, your last fight was very impressive as well. It took you less than a minute to finish Christina Adcock at BTC 8. You got it done quickly, and there was a lot of local buildup, like we discussed, for the event and for your fight, and you got to fight in Canada for the first time. Talk about what that all meant to you, to do it somewhat close to home and to have the performance that you had.
So it was amazing. I mean, I had the opportunity to fight in Canada because not often is there cards in Canada. So it was great to be able to, one, compete in Canada, and two, so close to home. The venue was 10 minutes from my house, so all my friends and family were able to go. So my support system going into that fight was just insane. And then afterwards, the party afterwards is obviously crazy. And it was I felt really good going in there and competed well, obviously, with the minute. And then so I'm hoping to have another good performance.
Do you think that was the best win of your career to this point?
I mean, it was, the best looking win, but the most satisfying win would still be the Kylie O'Hearn fight. As it's dig deep, and but this was the best win in regards to just woo, you know what I mean?
Did you see that Cage Titans nominated that fight for the fight of the year?
Yeah, I saw. I was hoping I'd win, but I mean, whatever.
Well, now you get to compete on UFC Fight Pass for CFFC, a very popular regional promotion here in the U.S. Have you been a fan of CFFC in the past? Had you checked out any events prior to getting this offer?
Yeah, I have. I got offered a CFFC fight prior, but it was at it was a upper weight class, or I forget what it was. But so I know a little bit about CFFC, and obviously it's one of the premier organizations. It's sweet that it's on Fight Pass, so my sponsors like that. And I'm on the main card, which is crazy. So looking forward to it.
And now you get Gabriella Gulfin, who has fought for CFFC in the past. Most of her fights were in that area, in the tri-state area. She's coming off the first loss that she's had since her amateur debut to Erin Blanchfield. It's another good test for you coming up on Saturday. How do you like this one from a stylistic perspective?
I really like the matchup. I think it's a bigger weight than I'm normally like to fight at. But whatever. I mean, I'm just down to scrap. So if whatever weight it's at doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think it's a good matchup. I mean, I'm sure because she's coming off a loss, she's going to be hungry and trying to win, but I'm hoping to stop that.
I know you're just looking to get in there and fight and scrap, like you just said. Do you feel like Gabriella is the appropriate next step to get to where you want to get to? Because obviously you have some big goals and aspirations for 2020.
Yeah. No, yeah, of course. Like ideally, the UFC is my big dream, and she's just a step in the way of my dream. So I got to make sure I make a statement and get that win.
We touched on this a little bit the last time that we talked, but you've certainly become, one of those prospects that more and more people are keeping an eye on these days. You sort of shrugged it off the last time. You're like, oh, I didn't really know that until you said something, but you have to be feeling it a little bit more now. Are you?
A little bit, but it's still like weird to me, I still can't like kind of see it myself. Like I'm putting in all the work, so I get it, but yeah, it's cool. It is. It's, I don't know. It's really interesting.
Are you starting to like this extra attention? Obviously, you're trying to stay humble. You got a good team and good support around you, but are you starting to dig it a little bit more, seeing the extra eyeballs on you?
I'm starting to kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like this is cool. I'm starting to actually like enjoy the ride a little bit more than I was before. Before I like kind of like couldn't see the destination, but now it seems like it's just getting closer and closer, and I'm starting to really enjoy it.
How do we get even more attention on you this Saturday night? I know that's not your top priority. It's the fight itself. It's getting the win, but how do you get it done in your CFFC debut on UFC Fight Pass? How do you see this all going down on Saturday?
Hoping another dominant performance. I mean, I'm down to let the fight go where it wants to go. She's like more of a grappler, so good chance we'll be grappling. And but yeah, I plan on making a statement with this one.
Do you see this in a way as like a Contender Series tryout fight in a way? Like I feel like those conversations, those opportunities for the summer are going to start coming together really soon now. Do you look at it that way, considering the platform at all? Do you feel like this is your chance to show Dana White and the matchmakers that you're here?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want to make sure. I've been putting in like such a hard camp right now, and so I've been just really making sure that I'm ready for a really hard fight, and I'm ready for whatever she has to offer, because I want to make a statement. I want to prove that I'm ready to make the next step and be there.
So you feel like you're ready at this point? I mean, you've just gotten started. You were like, we've talked about it in past interviews. You were a natural getting into the sport, and you've progressed and evolved at the right pace at this point. But of course, the goal is to get into the UFC. But a lot of fighters are like, yeah, I want to get there. But some fighters look at it as like, I don't want to rush into it. I want to make sure the timing is right. Do you feel like your time is now, or do you feel like you still need a little more polishing before those opportunities come?
No, I feel like the time is now. I want to take this fight, make a statement with it, and move on to like bigger and better things. I feel like I'm ready, and I'm feeling very confident. My training at Syndicate kind of like provided me with the confidence to know that I'm able to make that step, make that jump up there.
Is the trips to Syndicate, is that going to be a more regular thing now as these fights get booked?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking too far into the future, because I mean, I got this right in front of me, and so I'm like literally, I don't know. I'm like weird. I like only am zoned in on this right now. I'm not even thinking about like what's gonna go on next week at all. I'm just focused on this.
We talked about Syndicate MMA. You posted a video on Instagram that kind of made me chuckle a little bit, especially what you wrote on it. You posted about AJ Matthews yelling at you all the time. What is that like training with him?
Yeah, I know he's a tough coach to please. He expects the technique to be 100%, And so it was like obviously amazing to work with him, and I'm hoping that the tools that he's provided for me, I'll be able to show them in the fight.
What's the best AJ Matthews coaching quote he's thrown at you? What's the one thing he said to you that always sticks with you?
Oh, he was like, the one that I posted on the Instagram. It was there's no possible way you actually think your body's supposed to move like that. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess not. I thought maybe it was, but you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that was a good one. Yeah.
How do you? So does it change things in the training? You hear that and you're like, oh God, what do I do now? Do you have to like kick harder, punch harder, or do you have to like really focus on what he said to make sure he doesn't say those things to you anymore?
Yeah, no, it was. I wasn't like stepping through with my kid. It was like, it's a little like off with my body, but I've straightened it out and now we're good.
Well, we look forward to seeing you implement those tools against Gabriella Gulfin this Saturday at CFFC 81. You can watch all the action on UFC Fight Pass. It's Super Bowl weekend, so you guys get to kick things off in a big way. And always appreciate the time, Jasmine. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find you on the web, social media, any shout outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
I just want to obviously thank my team at Niagara Top Team and Parabellum MMA. My coaches, Chris Prickett and Matt DiMarcantonio. This time around, I'm having Vlad and Aaron in my corner, so that's going to be great. And Rory McDonald is also going to be there. He's making the trip for me. I really appreciate that. Appreciate all my sponsors. I couldn't obviously do it without them. And you can find me on social media, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Thank you very much for having me.
You got Rory coming down with you too?
Yeah. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it because there's a bunch of people also fighting the same night in Rochester. So it was like, I'm unsure, but I think we've got it all figured out that he's able to come down. So really looking forward to it.
What's it been like being around a guy like that? You know, championship level guy. He's just signed with the PFL. Obviously, he's evolving as a
Rory McDonald.
Yeah. Oh, it's a different Rory?
A different Rory McDonald.
Wow.
Yeah. No, not the fighter Rory McDonald. They just have the same name.
I was like, oh, I didn't know you knew Rory McDonald, but this is a different Rory McDonald.
A different, just the same name.
Does he get that a lot?
Yeah.
My apologies to this Rory McDonald, but thank you very much, Jasmine. All the best to you on Saturday.
Thank you so much. Nice chatting.